Hey, what's going on, everybody? Nicky D here, coming to live man yet again. We're just doing the old work vlog, so I'll be looking over my shoulder a few times to make sure, nobody's standing there watching. But anyway, I just want to talk about video games, as we do once in a while on this channel, and kind of why I stopped buying modern video games. So it'll be a quicker rant, but it'll be a rant nonetheless. So yeah, man. So it's pretty self-explanatory if you're into the if you're in the industry, you know what's going. Like if you're gaming and you know what's going on. Not that I do a whole. I guess I do a lot of it, but I've mainly just been playing Guild Wars 2 there. It's an MMO, and I have a blast playing it. Not every time, though. Sometimes I'm absolutely just raging. But just looking at, like, the most recent releases, sorry about that. The car's loud. But, yeah, like Redfall, for example, Golem, that these games are charging regular prices for these games, for what they're selling, their product, and they're just awful. Nothing about these games is good. I was actually on a binge there yesterday, and I was watching a video on Overwatch 2. I haven't even looked at Overwatch, but I looked at Overwatch 2, and it's just wild how crazy, like, Blizzard has, like, shot themselves in the foot. Diablo, being 4 and Immortal, both just absolutely tanking, and not getting anywhere. Warcraft 3 Reforged, when they did that was like, what, 2021, that again just completely butchered, right? So I don't really buy any new games. I did buy that Resident Evil 4 remake, and I actually had a very good time with it, and I've said this time and time again, and I'll say it again. I really think that Capcom is really on the money. Like, that's who people need to be following in the footsteps of Capcom, because they're doing exactly what people want, right? Sure, a lot of it's nostalgia, but they switch up the story, it still follows the same track, but there's stuff added in, they've reworked everything, and I really liked how they did that. I will give credit where credit's due, too. The StarCraft remaster from Blizzard was really good, and, that's what needed to be done there. But yeah, in modern games now, I just can't get over the amount of, loot boxes and things. I used to be not a big Call of Duty player, but I used to play a half-decent amount of Call of Duty. That may or may not surprise you, but I know all about 1v1s on Rust. And let me tell you, I wouldn't touch a Call of Duty nowadays. I think it was Vanguard, maybe, or Cold War. Is it Cold War that I'm thinking? Where they added health bars and multiplayer? It looks insane to me, gone are the days of Skyrim, where you just immerse yourself for a couple hours and you have a really great time, right? And you want to play again, like that. You literally go to bed wanting to play the game. But you don't get that feeling, it's crazy. You don't get it. The one that always gets me is I was a big time Halo fan, hold on, I think we got a guy coming. But I was a big time Halo fan, and seeing Halo Infinite, and what they did to that game, I felt really bad about that, because I really should have just not even bought the campaign. 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Guy was coming. Get awkward. It would get awkward talking about Halo Infinite. Nobody wants to hear that. No, so I ended up buying Halo Infinite. I bought the campaign, and what was really unfortunate about that is I played for about 3 hours and I quit, and unfortunately you can't get your money back at that point, so I didn't even continue playing the game. That's the funniest thing. I stopped playing. I thought about getting a refund. I wanted to, and then it's like, oh, you've played too much, which is understandable, and I just didn't continue the campaign. I have zero interest. The only thing I liked playing on that was the multiplayer where you could play against bots, so I could just go 40-1. Hold on, we got a guy coming there, and yeah, you can't even do that anymore, right? So 1 second. All right, we're just vibing here. That's what happens when you film in public, guys. Okay, that's what happens. Moral of the story, anyway, yeah, it's insane. The amount of microtransactions that are in games now, it's obviously a proven method and it works. So I can't fault a company for it, but I think people need to stop pre-ordering. It's like Starfield, after Fallout 76, you get kind of nervous about that, right? And Starfield, again, being by Bethesda, and people now being unsure about Bethesda because of their latest debacle, again, Fallout 76. I'm on the fence, man. It looks great. Yeah, that's the problem, right? I think that's it. I think you overhype and you undersell. I think what they're doing, and a lot of the companies are doing this, they're getting all these pre-orders, right? They're going, oh, look at us, we got 3 million in pre-orders, that's awesome, and or whatever amount that they get, and the game hasn't even come out, right? So I would rather wait for the game to come out, like Starfield, for example, and then say, okay, cool, now I'm going to make a purchase, right? Based on reviews, right? Because I read the reviews of not critics. I read, I'm not gonna look at GameSpot or IGN and be like, oh, they gave Golem an 8 out of 10. That's ridiculous. somebody. But no, I'm gonna. I don't know if you guys can see him. He was like right there. Just walked up, like he was just gave me the nod. I was like, "How you doing?" I gotta go over my other spot, but there was a guy sitting there, so I couldn't sit there. But it's less trafficked. Like there's like nobody there, and if they are, they're like 15 feet away on a sidewalk, so they don't care. But yeah, no, I mean it's upsetting. It's upsetting, you know. So that's what you do. You wait for like the user reviews. The users are who you want. The people that are just regular consumers like you and I that are gonna buy the game and be like, oh, cool. That's like when I do dating app reviews and I read the reviews. I'm reading reviews from people that are like me, right? That are just gonna use the app on a standard and go from there. All right. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. All right. Peace.